Hey guys, welcome back. We were earlier discussing about hazard and hazardous event in part 1 of this lecture series. Today we are going to discuss on the second part of the same topic, hazard and hazardous event. Earlier we had discussed about what is the difference between hazard and hazardous event. Today we are going to discuss about types of hazard, their characteristics and what is their hazardous event. So first, on the nature or the basis of the nature of hazard, we have classified the hazards into 5 categories. The first category is physical hazard, the second category is chemical hazard, the third category is psychological hazard, fourth category is biological hazard, and fifth category is ergonomics hazard. If we talk about the category 1, which is physical hazard, so in this category we classify the hazards which are in physical in nature, which are or their characteristics or conditions are physical. If we talk about the example of physical hazard, the first hazard is vibration, and vibration is the hazard, and hazardous event due to vibration is exposure of vibration. If we talk about second physical hazard, which is noise, so exposure due to excessive noise which can lead to loss of hear or hear loss. If we talk about illumination, it is a physical hazard which may lead to injuries, and what is the hazardous event in illumination is poor illumination or exposure to poor illumination. If we talk about fire, fire is a physical hazard which has an exposure of fire due to flammable or combustible material may lead to major property loss, burn injuries or physical injuries. If we talk about electricity, it is a physical hazard, and electricity may cause to electrocution, electrical burn or electric shock. Apart of this physical hazards, if we talk about chemical hazard, so in chemical hazard, if we talk about any chemical which has an inherent property of toxic in nature, corrosive or irritant, so these are the chemical hazard. So any substance or any chemical which we say it's a substance which has a property or inherent property of corrosive, toxic in nature and irritant, so these are called chemical hazard. And if we talk about the hazardous event in chemical hazard, so suppose there is a chemical which is toxic, so inhalation of that toxic chemical, ingestion of that toxic chemical or contact with that skin to that toxic chemical may cause to personal injuries to the person or ill health to the person. So in this category I have defined hazard and hazardous event. If we talk about in the same chemical, if it is a irritant in nature or a corrosive in nature, so what would be the hazardous event is exposure to corrosive chemical is the hazardous event. When the hazardous chemical or substance which is in corrosive in nature comes into the contact of skin, it may cause dermatitis or skin injuries as well, or I can say burn injuries. If we talk about biological hazard, so in biological hazard, any pathogens or allergens like bacteria or virus are called biological hazards. So exposure to these biological agents, virus or bacteria may lead to ill health, sickness or personal diseases to any person. If we talk about psychological hazard, so in psychological hazard category, stress is the main hazard. So it's why I am saying stress, So stress has a potential to cause sickness or ill health to the person, so which is psychological in nature. So it may lead to personal sickness or personal diseases to the person. If we talk about ergonomics hazard, so in this category, poor posture and manual handling and repetitive activities or repetitive movement is called hazard. So exposure to this repetitive movement or poor workstation may call to physical injury to the person or prolonged diseases to that person or sickness. So in this video category, I have described all the examples of hazards categories or their nature and their hazardous event. In the last of this video, I will be categorizing all the hazards categories with suitable examples of their categories.